Day 3 of our live coverage from the China Open in Beijing. A rainy day outside this diamond court. But nice and dry with the roof closed. And Novak Djokovic, the top seed, the defending champion, looking for his 5th title in this city, making smooth progress so far. Looking to become the first man into the quarterfinals this afternoon. That's a smile. While I was downstairs, I walked past the Players' Restaurant and just glanced into the door, and I could just see Thomas Burdick with his face up against the window, just watching the rain fall.
Yeah, the beauty for these two players here, they kind of knew roughly when they're going to be playing. Beauty of having the roof over here on this court. But yeah, it's a frustrating day all round really for the players on the outside courts. You know, they get here early, ready to practice and play. Just trying to keep that mind fresh, isn't it, and active, so that you're ready when you're called.
Yeah, Burdick and Viktor Troitsky, of course, were the first match due on the Lotus Court, 12:30. Coming up to around 5 hours ago, but no chance of any play. It's been pouring with rain this afternoon in Beijing.
And again, it's another one of those points where I feel that Pospisil is using that slice too often. I know we've got a bit of a challenge here, but I don't think Pospisil getting any love from Hawkeye. But my point is, I just think that the slice is obviously he's trying to use variety, but I think it's kind of playing in Djokovic's hands. He's got more time on the ball.
Just goes long. Wonderful effort from Pospisil. This man, once more, just too solid for the Canadian.
Well, the beginning of that point was incredible, wasn't it? The return from Djokovic. Then he kind of turned defense into attack. Beautiful volley. I mean, it had it all, didn't it, at that point?
Fighting hard to hold on to his serve. Still with some work to do. Picked up for taking a little bit too much time between points. So he loses the first serve. That's a blow.
Big point as well. Juice.
He's going to have a word with the umpire, isn't he? Not happy with that decision. The time violation, of course, that's what we're talking about.
In all fairness, I guess it's a fair point, isn't it? If he's done it twice, he's going over the time limit. It's something the umpires needed to have clamped down on.
Break point for the top seed.
How's that return?
It's not the best time to have a conversation with the umpire either, is it, when you're facing break point? I know it's tough and you're upset, but needs to focus right here on winning this point. Good response, though.
Yeah, and a good change-up. It's one of the rare times when we've seen that serve actually go into the body.
Djokovic pumping himself up. Knows this is a big game. Put the match to bed right here. Can the top seed. Shown real signs of frustration, Djokovic. Clearly feels Pospisil's there for the taking. Service game edges into its 7th minute. That's off to Pospisil. That's a good response. He was in a hole.
Two games more.
Found a way through the service game. Never easy, especially when you're rattled. See him, he's still mumbling and grumbling behind the baseline. Maybe a bit of anger helped him through that game.
Great response, isn't it? As you'd expect from the best players. I mean, great points missed and an opportunity gone wandering, just able to refocus.
Much more focused today, Djokovic, doesn't he? Much more intense. Maybe that's because of the quality the other side of the net. Realised that he needed to be on his game today.
Yeah, I think so. You look at who you're playing, and I think he must regard Pospisil as a threat. Yeah, probably just a little heavy-handed here with the volley, but got away of it.
Djokovic continues to cruise through his service games. Break of serve passed him by, but he holds with ease. 3-2, second set.
Time.
Novak Djokovic in the driving seat then, midway through this second round encounter, the China Open in Beijing.
I
mentioned I was courtside, Chris, around an hour ago during the first set. Well, the other thing that struck me is how big this stadium is. It's a 15,000 seater. I think that makes it the joint third largest purpose-built tennis stadium in the world. Arthur Ashe, of course, is the biggest. Indian Wells, I think, is second. Then you've got this one, Shanghai and Wimbledon around the same sort of size. From your experience playing in big arenas, I know you've played on centre court at Wimbledon a few times. How easy it is to settle in this environment? Because when I was down there, it just strikes you as it's a big deal for Pospisil. He's playing the best player in the world in a massive stadium. He's still only 24. He can't have done this too often.
That's right. I mean, certainly my experience is walking on centre court. I played at Edinburgh in '93. I was very nervous walking on, and it can take a bit of time just to sort of settle. But once you sort of get into the match, you kind of get in the zone and you just play. But it can be daunting for some players. I think the more you get used to it, the more comfortable you become walking onto a big stage.
I have to say, he looked relatively at ease, actually, during the knock-up in the first few games. Didn't look too nervous, but it strike me. It must be a big day for him. He's only 24. He kind of played on big stages like this that much against these players as well. And it takes a little bit of getting used to it, doesn't it?
Also, you've got the atmosphere. I mean, like now, the crowd are getting involved. I mean, it's probably why you play tennis, isn't it? All the practice time, the dedication is to be out there. And in these big arenas, it's an exciting moment.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're this guy's coach, you hope that he embraces the situation. Like you say, this is why these guys play tennis. Days like this. Test themselves against the best in the world on the biggest stages.
Game, Pospisil. Games.
Yeah, big difference in the quality of serving as well from Pospisil in this second set. When we look at the first set, his first serve percentage was around the 56% mark. Second set, he's just under 70%, so getting a few more free points.
Doing a good job of staying with Djokovic in this second set at the moment. I guess that's the first job with these guys, isn't it? The top players in the world, just to try and live with them initially.
Yeah, and this is the moment now, isn't it? You stick in the scoreline 3-all, suddenly Djokovic gives away a cheap point. Now it's the chance for Pospisil. That's a shame because I like the aggression, I like the idea of going after the second, but just seemed to get his feet in the wrong place.
Half chance for Pospisil. Can he make anything of it?
40-13.
What a forehand. Laser-like from the Canadian.
Yeah, beautiful forehand. Look at the contact point right in front and just that little turn of the wrist to guide that ball into court.
It's the kind of magic he was hoping for. The kind of magic he needs if he's going to try and nick this service game off the world number one. No, pulled it wide. And now an opportunity for Pospisil. He's worked mighty hard for this moment. Break point for the Canadian. Canadian. Pospisil breaks the world number one, and we have a match on our hands now in Beijing. Takes a narrow lead in this second set. He's up 4-3. Well, the diamond court in Beijing has come alive in the last 5 minutes or so. Scintillating tennis from Vasek Pospisil. Best tennis of the week, Chris Wilkinson.
Absolutely, some beautiful points there, particularly from the Canadian. I mean, just a couple of unforced errors early on in that game, but you've got to say that Pospisil there really stepped up to the mark.
Of course, breaking's one thing against the world number one, but still with some work to do. Needs a couple of holds before he can force a decider. times working well.
Yeah, much better movement up the court as well after the serve.
15 long.
Nice and wide, creating the space. Now onto the short one.
Mr. Pospisil is counter call at the right corner line. The ball was called in. Third to long.
Just needs to take a deep breath, Pospisil. Fifth double fault for the Canadian. Good start to the game, though.
Just the 3 points lost in this second set when he's made the first serve.
Settled into the match nicely, hasn't he? He was very much second best in the opening set, but really raised his game.
Again, Pospisil.
When he's serving like this, really, anything is Pospisil.
Pospisil hits by 5 games superior.
As they say.
Couldn't resist it.
One game away then, forcing a deciding set. We made to wait a little while because of the weather today for some live tennis, but it has been well worth waiting for. A real buzz around the arena now.
15 long.
Djokovic has a huge army of fans in this part of the world. They perhaps weren't quite expecting this kind of resistance from Pospisil today. He hasn't even lost that many sets, Djokovic, at this tournament. He's won the event 4 times, only lost 3 sets in those 4 years. Pretty good going.
Plenty of spin on that serve, wasn't that? Really getting away there from the returner.
Left. Again,
Back to the routine nature of holding serve for Djokovic, but still with a lot of work to do. Pospisil will serve for the second set.
Time.
Showtime then for Vasek Pospisil, serving for this second set. Top marks.
15 love.
Yeah,
So far.
right attitude, wasn't it, for the first point?
Staying aggressive.
And again, this one he just gets caught on.
15 all.
Problem, isn't it? It's difficult getting freebies in the back of the court. You know you've got to work hard. You know you've got to make that first serve. Brilliant hands, wasn't it? From Pospisil, moving backwards as well. Lovely touch.
Presence of mind too. Didn't have much time to react, but exactly the right choice from the Canadian. 2 points away. Make that one. Went for it. Fabulous depth from Djokovic. It's not going to go down in this set without a fight, the Serb. Most of the fans inside this diamond court missed the call of out on the serve. Getting very excited. And Djokovic has turned to raise his game.
Beautiful tennis again there. Djokovic just dictating the play. Again, it's a slice backhands, I feel, just giving Djokovic time to conduct the point.
Thank you.
Break back points for the world number one. Such an asset, isn't it? You've got to serve like that. Those pressure moments in matches. Fine response.
That's a beautiful serve, set up the point nicely. Just got the blood to the head there. I guess it's easy though in that situation. You're watching your opponent, you know you've got to hit a good shot because the defense is so good.
Yeah, and all credit to Djokovic just finding a way to get that ball back into play. Another break point. Djokovic pounces. Salutes his fans. And that's how quickly opportunities can disappear against the big boys at the top of this sport. Back on level terms.
So solid, eh? You just know it's not going to go away. You've got to work so hard to win the points, and if the serve's not working from the back of the court, Pospisil just getting punished.
We see it all the time, don't we? Top players in the world just have the ability to find another gear exactly when they need it. Pospisil have been playing some breathtaking tennis to move ahead in this set, but burst on the accelerator from Djokovic and starting to pull away again.
That's where he's dangerous though, isn't he? Still got that big weapon. Oh, short there with the forehand, with the serve.
Seen some wonderful shot making in the last half hour or so.
Pushed back a long way again to Pospisil. It's good tennis though, isn't it?
Very good tennis. Really enjoyed this contest. Good hold from Djokovic. A very good spell of around 10 minutes for the Serbian. Back in front, 6-5, second set.
Time.
A different kind of pressure facing Vasek Pospisil now. A few moments ago he was serving for the second set at 5-4. Very different scenario 10 minutes later. Serving to stay in the match.
Didn't miss by much.
Love 15.
Poor start to the game, but steadies the ship.
15.
Not a big serve.
He's had some good rewards with that wide serve to Djokovic's forehand this evening.
If Djokovic does come through this in straight sets, he'll be delighted, won't he? This has been a tough workout, particularly the second set. It's been a great response. The kind of match you want at the start of a new stage of the calendar. Give you a bit of confidence. Just forcing Pospisil to go for a little bit too much at times. 2 points away from a place in the quarterfinals now, the top seed. The forehand misses by a long way. Just lost his way in the last 10 minutes, Vasek Pospisil. And it has left Novak Djokovic on the brink of victory.
He's got pretty brave there, wasn't he, going off that forehand Pospisil?
Yeah, especially after the last forehand. Still alive. Djokovic probing.
It's just beautiful depth in the shots there. From Djokovic.
Yeah, especially the penultimate backhand. Brings up match point number 2. Oh, yes. What a way to save match point.
Well, how about that? Incredible forehand.
I've got to say, too good to that. Try and force him to do it again. Back to deuce. 2 match points saved. Desperate to take this into a breaker, Pospisil. He will have to face a 3rd match point, however. Will it be 3rd time lucky for the world number 1? It is.
Djokovic.
Novak Djokovic's bid for a 5th title here in Beijing is still firmly on
6-3,
track.
7-1.
He was tested by the Canadian, especially in that second set, had to save a set point, but he responded in superb fashion. Very impressive from Djokovic. He'll be very pleased with the manner of that victory. Comes through 6-3, 7-5.
Yeah, very impressive performance. Good effort though from Pospisil. Put up a good fight and a real test for Novak Djokovic. Yeah, when you look at the numbers, I guess you've got to really look at the unforced errors really from the Canadian. 34 compared to Djokovic, only 14. But I guess that's because the Canadian's going for a lot more. You know, trying to hit more winners, as we see in the numbers as well. But it's just getting that balance. And against Djokovic, when it mattered most, just felt that Pospisil just made too many unforced errors. But unfortunately, that's what you're up against. But a really good victory, really, for Novak Djokovic against a little stern test there from the Canadian.